I did a reaction to AMS's video of him saying how to get in the top 10% of men. Here's just my personal take on it, and keep in mind, this is gonna be different based on your location and your age range. So being in the top 10% of guys and you're 20 years old or you're 21 years old really isn't gonna be comparable or take a lot in comparison to a guy who's 32 years old living in Miami. But without further ado, let's get into it. Number one, you gotta be resourceful. So financially, I would say you have to be making well above your expenses. I'm saying like 3 to 4 times what your expenses currently are. So let's say you live on 2 to 3K a month, you gotta be making at least 3x that. 4x that. The point is you have a lot of disposable income to basically do whatever you want. You're not really in need for money. You can travel, you can live your life, you can buy things without looking at the price tags, and you're just overall resourceful. So this is going to be depending based on your location and your personal expenses. So if you're a guy and you have high expenses, you live on 5, 6, 7K a month, you live in a big house, your expenses are relatively high. So with that being said, once again, it's all relative. And the main reason for finance and why that is attractive is because it just shows that you have freedom in your life. You can eat where you want, you can go where you want, and the girl you're dating, you can provide experiences for without worrying about anything regarding finances or money or even her money at all. Number two, understand dating dynamics and be experienced with women and their nature. So this is more like an inner game type of thing, not necessarily what you can provide, but just understanding women overall, like to a T. You know how they are, you know how they act, you know just how female nature is. And you only gain that by actually dealing with a lot of women. You can watch all the videos in the world like I used to and not really know until you actually dealt with women at scale. But in order to deal with women at scale, you also have to become more attractive. So it's kind of hard, and you gotta kind of do both at the same time, becoming this high value guy while also trying to deal with women at a wide scale. But the more women you deal with, the better you'll simply be at them, and the more you'll start to understand them. And that is just overall a very, very attractive trait to have, because like the girls, when they deal with me, they can tell that I've been around the block and I know how things work, because I don't act like a guy who hasn't been. Like a guy who hasn't been with a lot of women, it's like clear. Like you can almost tell in their interactions how they act, how they talk, how they deal with a woman. Example, I had this very, very attractive Latina chick who added me to her close friend story. And yes, I slept with her only one time because she's not in my city. But on her close friend story, she was like, I can tell whenever I'm the first bad bitch that a guy has ever had. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I know I didn't give off that energy. Like, because when I'm with a chick, no matter if she's like a 10, a 9, an 8, doesn't matter, I treat them the same way, as if like I've done this 1,000 times, and they can sense that through my energy. And some girls, they can tell when you've never been with an attractive girl, like just how like your energy is and like how you talk to her, like your actions start to change. Like the things you wouldn't do with that 6 or 7, you're now starting to do with this 9 or 10 because you find her more physically attractive. So point is, treat every girl like she's the same, and overall the more females you deal with, the more attractive that will make you. Number 3, look as attractive as possible. And what this means is basically just increasing your sex appeal to the max. Figure out what looks best on you, your style, your hair, your skin, your sex appeal, jewelry, everything, your body, all the above. Everything when it comes to attraction and attractiveness, you need to maximize that at all times. Like max it out. Do whatever you have to do to figure out how you can become more attractive, more sexy, because this will be the leading factor in regards to your success with women, alongside with some inner game principles like confidence and your ability to like be competent and understand certain things. But your attractiveness plays a huge part. If you're enjoying this content, you're gonna be mind blown by my Patreon. As a supporter, you'll get access to now over 100 videos of in-depth dating insights, valuable self-improvement tips, and juicy uncut content you won't find anywhere else. And no, you won't break the bank. You're gonna get access to everything for the literal price of a sandwich. This is a great way to support me and my work so that I can keep creating high quality content for you. I'm engaging with my Patreon community and posting new videos every single week. So if you want more value and exclusive access, head over to my Patreon page. I'll leave a link down below. Now, back to the video. Number 4, have some sort of social status and or social media status. So I know a lot of you guys aren't into social media like that, but if you're not, then at least have some sort of social status within a group, an organization, or a community. Whatever you're doing, have some sort of leadership type of role to where people look up to you and follow you for direction. Now, this could be your job, this can be any organization or event that you're a part of. Like, they look to you as a head, and that is an example of some sort of status. Number two is simply just have a social media and try to have some sort of presence on there that provides social proof and pre-selection, because that's what's going to make you more attractive. And I leverage that so much in my dating life, guys. Having at least a K by your followers, so I think it starts at maybe 10K. If you can get a triple digits Ks, like 100,000 or more, and you have a blue check mark, you have now pretty much maxed out your social proof when it comes to Instagram, because your Instagram is like your resume, guys. Like, if you don't have an IG, or your IG's whack, like you're a private account with 200 followers, but you're following 2,000 people, like, it's not a good look, guys. And girls actually really value that. Well, the mass majority of them do. So just keep that in mind. Next one, never settle and you're ambitious, meaning that you don't always take what's given to you and just be satisfied with that. You're always like, can I do better? Can I do more? Is the grass greener? Like, you have that type of energy about yourself. And this, once again, is more like an inner game principle, not necessarily anything that would necessarily attract women to you, but it is a sign that you're within the top 10% of men. It's because you're abundant. I think it just comes back down to abundance. You're abundant, and you know that things can be easily replaced, and you know that you always want more in your life. This can be money, finances. This can be a woman you're dealing with. You have to show her that, hey, you are to a degree replaceable, and I can always find a woman who is just like you. You never want to directly say that, but you need to let her know indirectly that you are abundant and you will never settle for any things or tolerate anything that she brings to your life. This can be multiple examples of red flags. It can be certain behaviors that she's possessing and showing you. And also in your work life, you're just ambitious. You're just always chasing more, always chasing greater. Last one, guys, you are pre-selected, which means that other women clearly want you. Like, you are desired by multiple women. And this can be shown in a lot of ways. It can be shown through social media. It can be shown whenever you go out in public and women are looking at you, especially with you're with a chick too, and she notices the woman looking at you, or maybe women even come up to you. Like, you leave her for a second and a woman tries to talk to you. That's ultimate pre-selection, guys. Ultimate. Now, I'll tell you the way that I display pre-selection, and it's clearly through my Instagram, but also through my YouTube videos. Whenever I do these public interviews, and like maybe the girls I'm dating or whoever are watching them and seeing how the interaction that I'm getting from the girls, them kissing me on the cheek, doing whatever, that's a clear sign of pre-selection. Like, hey, don't forget, I still got it. I still got it. Like, I'm desired by other women too. You're not the only woman who wants me, and they must know that too. And only the top 10% of men are pre-selected, because most guys are unattractive to a vast majority of women. So if you are pre-selected and it's clear that other women want you, that's gonna put you in the top 10% of men too. So guys, that was my take on becoming the top 10% of men. Based on your location, your age, all this is subject to change and is relative. But I think these points pretty much set it in stone when it comes to becoming the top 10% of men.